Hey guys, welcome back to the Forge. Today we're continuing our basic blacksmithing, getting started blacksmithing series here in the channel. Today we're going to be making our chisel. I'm going to bring you in close here in just a second because I want to show you one of the chisels that I made in preparation for this with only hand tools. I didn't use any. I used angle grinder to cut the material, but other than that, with a cutoff wheel. But other than that, I used files and my hammer to make this. And I wanted to show you that you can do that. If you have a good hacksaw and you've annealed your material, you can cut it with a hacksaw. It takes a minute, but you can get through it with just hand tools. So with that being said, I'm going to bring you in close, show you the chisel, and then let's get some metal in the forge. Okay guys, this is the chisel. Let me back this out just a little bit. There we go. This is the chisel I made the other day. Similar concept that we made with our punch. I haven't hardened it or heat treated it yet. Hand sharpened with files. Got the pretty decent edge on it, getting it ready for heat treat. But all of this was done by hand, and I just want to show you that you didn't have to have power tools to make your tools and make things. It might take you a little bit longer to get your, to get it made, but you can do it if you want to put the elbow grease in.
Okay guys, so I'm going to start fullering this material down at a slight angle. We're not wanting it to get it super thin, and we're going to want to make it a little bit wider than what it is. And we're going to keep everything squared up. We don't want a real wide chisel, we're just making just a basic slitting chisel. And don't worry if the tip of it gets a little rounded. It happens in the fullering process. Just know that you can file that out as you get further in the project. So now we're just squaring up the chisel. It gives it a little bit more of a comfortable grip, makes it to where it won't roll around when we lay it on the anvil. We're going to get everything straightened up now. Now remember, anything that you're needing straight as a finished product, like your punch or your chisel or a knife or something, straighten as you go. Don't wait to the end. Use your residual heat before you go into the fire each time to just make sure everything's good and lined up so you don't have any big problems at the end and you can't get it fixed. Alright, so we're going to use the Hardy tool in this one to cut our material to the length that we want. And what I'm doing is like beaver chewing around the material. I'm not doing a straight cut all the way through because I don't want some big gashed side. That can happen if you hammer just straight through on one side. And it also will save my tool, because if I hit too hard and cut through the material too fast, I can end up going through and actually hitting my Hardy tool and damaging my hammer or the Hardy tool. As you can see with what I did, it just made that little nipple right there on the end that will file off later. Now we're just squaring up the end that we cut off to make sure everything matches up. Gonna check to make sure everything is good and square and everything as straight as possible. Alright guys, when we come out of the fire, we're going to have just the tip and maybe a little bit past it up to critical heat. Remember, it's no longer magnetic, as you can see right here. And then we're going to bring it out and we're going to go directly into the oil. Sorry about the camera. But remember guys, whenever you come into the oil, you want to keep your material moving. You don't want to get a hot spot and have bubbles form up on it so it doesn't cool off fast enough.
Okay guys, let's get real for a minute and talk about what we learned today. Well, you learned how to make a chisel. Last video we learned how to make a punch. I got the chisel in the forge like we did last time, or like we did with the punch last time, with just the tip of the back half of it in the forge getting heated up, so I can run my tempering colors down. And as we did before, we were looking, let's see if I can get it on camera because I haven't, so hopefully that'll show up really well. See, put my hand behind it. Maybe. We're looking for that straw color. It's a yellowish brown color. Maybe, yeah, you can see it about right there. Looking for the straw color just on about that much of it. You know, on the chisel it can be a little less, but about that much. And then we will pull it out of the forge, let it cool down, and then it'll be ready to be sharpened. Remember, as I was showing in the video, you don't want a really sharp point on it. Look at the chisels if you've bought some, at how that angle is. It's called a chisel grind, but it's not real super sharp. It's kind of more of a blunt end. And let me see if I have a chisel right here close. I can show you one. Yeah. There we go. You can see right here, if I can get it to come into focus, yeah, it makes more of a diamond shape at the end instead of a sharp point. And it's really heavy on the edge. You can do this with a file, but it's really easier with a grinder or with a sander. But yeah guys, I'm just going to run these colors and they're getting really close. I can see it starting to turn yellow up here at the end. So I'm just going to let it keep doing its thing. Adjust it back since it turns the forge off. But yeah, learned how to make a chisel. So what's going to happen in the next videos, because this is really all the meat and the potatoes, a lot of basic getting started blacksmithing. There's other stuff we're going to make that'll fall in this category, and I'll title it as it comes. But how I'm going to title the next videos is basically, I'll let you know if it's a basic project, an intermediate project, or an advanced project as we're making it. And as we make the project, we will make the tools that we need. I've said this in other videos, but really kind of iterating it in this one, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows, you know, that from here on out, we're making stuff. I mean, we've made tongs, but if we're going to be making, you know, a matchstick holder, we're going to make the tools to make that. If we're going to be making, you know, because you need 1/4 inch material, or need tongs to hold 1/4 inch material, and they got to be a little different. If we're going to be making a tomahawk, we're going to make the tomahawk tongs. And as I said in other videos, if we don't have, like, if I don't have the ability to make that tool, just because of the machinery, or, you know, I can't move that much material by hand, I'll show you a link to where you can get it. Like tomahawk drift, I don't have the ability to make that right now with the setup that I have, but I can show you to where you can get a very good one that will last you a lifetime. But that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll post pictures on my Instagram and on Facebook of the finished chisel and the finished punch next to each other. And also shoot some pictures on there. Do hashtag Refining Fire Forge, and so I can see what all you guys have made. show me your forge setup, show me how you got it set up. We will be doing a video on how to build a forge without a welder. It's going to be really hard. I'm still trying to get all the material together to build that, but as soon as I do, we will be doing that video, and it'll be just a basic, down and dirty, apocalyptic, end of the world, need a blacksmith forge kind of thing. But it will be, if you needed to build one because you don't have access to certain things or whatever, you don't have a welder or the means to get to one, I'm going to show you how to build one with just stuff you find. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming up fairly soon as I can find everything. It's just a few odds and ends things I've got to try to figure out. But other than that, guys, God bless and keep hammering.